How do you breathe? In singing, we use what is commonly referred to as a belly breath. I think people learn to breathe in this way much faster when they know what's going on. So here's a quick summary of the biology of breathing. Your lungs are passive. They have no muscles themselves. They function because they're in a closed system in your rib cage that is separated from the rest of your body, stretched across the bottom of your rib cage, separating your thoracic cavity, your heart, lungs, and rib cage from the rest of your abdominal cavity is a sheet of muscle called your diaphragm. It's the tightening and loosening of this diaphragm that actually causes your lungs to expand and contract. When your rib cage is held tall and stabilized, and the diaphragm expands downward, it pulls air into your lungs. When your rib cage is held tall and stabilized, and the diaphragm pushes upwards, it pushes air out of your lungs. You can see it on this silly model I built from an old water bottle. What happens is that the diaphragm increases the volume of space around your lungs, decreasing the pressure and causing air to rush into your lungs from the more highly pressurized air outside. When you go to exhale, the diaphragm presses upwards, decreasing the volume around your lungs and causing you to exhale because there is a higher pressure inside your body than outside. Inhale, diaphragm drops down. Exhale, diaphragm presses up. Inhale. So what happens to the rest of the abdominal cavity when your diaphragm drops down? Your organs lie just beneath your diaphragm. When you want to inhale very deeply, that set of muscles stretch downward and push some of your organs out of the way. In order to breathe very deeply, that means that we have to soften the muscles along our abdominal wall and allow those organs to be slightly displaced when we breathe in. A deep inhalation proceeds as follows. Stomach, spreading of the rib cage, and then only slightly should there be a raising of the chest. Stomach, spreading of the rib cage, and slight raising of the chest. When we breathe out, the order is the same. Your stomach pushes in, then the rib cage becomes less wide, and then last, the chest might fall. But we really don't want the chest to fall very much. As you get further in your singing, working with the teacher, this softened abdominal wall ends up being very useful. When you need power behind your voice, you can tighten your core abdominal muscles to help pressurize your air supply. Instead of reaching for a high note with tension in your throat, you can support your voice by keeping your throat relaxed and instead putting in tension behind your air. You will find that breathing for singing and public speaking is a little bit different than other breathing. If you've studied yoga, you might have been instructed in a mindful breath that is similar, but the purpose is very different, so there are some small but very marked differences. A yoga breath is designed to be mindful and slow. A singing breath has to be fast and completely filling. Because of this, the way that we take in breath is different. In yoga, they stress breathing in through your nose, but in singing, we need more air taken in more quickly. So we take in our breath through the most open position possible. A breath should be taken in through the mouth mostly and the nose partially. The throat should be held in a slight yawn while you inhale, like a yawn. When you inhale through a slight yawn, this actually lowers the larynx and allows the vocal cords to come apart. It gives you a larger tube through which to draw your air. So, to recap, in order to breathe in, you need to take in your air through your mouth and your nose with a slight yawn. You should feel your stomach expand, then your lower rib cage, then your chest rise just a bit. If you begin to breathe low and correctly, you will have the power to let your true voice out.